Hey guys, welcome back to DNA Customs. I know, it's been a while since I posted a video. If you recall back in one of the earlier videos, I said I suck at doing these videos. No, there you go. But anyways, I'm still here. I'm still working on this project. I haven't given up. I've been getting a couple other things done meanwhile. I did finally get the garage, hardwired in, no longer running off an extension cord. It's a little chilly today. Got the torpedo heater set up, so if it kicks on, I apologize for the noise. But as you can tell by my breath, it's a little chilly. But anyways, still making progress. I'm going to show you where I'm at right now. I got the seats, got the carpet out, and then I'm going to turn this video around and we're just going to kind of pick up from there. Before I turn this around, I do want to point out that all this rust in the back here, that is from the inside rusting out. People that live in the snow areas, you get in with snow on your shoes and it kind of gets on the carpet and melts. I bought this car early last year, like April or May. It's been sitting indoors and I just took the carpet out and the padding underneath it was still soaking wet, which is probably where a lot of this rust is coming from. So that's a big point for getting the WeatherTech mats that cover everything and it doesn't allow the water to soak into your carpets. Not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form, but after seeing this, it's a good point to have them. So I'm going to show you where I'm at right now. I started working on the other side. I still haven't got the hang of this. These holes over here, I'm going to show you what those are for here in just a second. I'm going to get this car lifted up and then show you what my game plan is. Alright, I got the car raised back up. So my original plan was to take some of this 2x4 rectangular tubing and kind of set it where it's at right there and kind of weld it in place. The only thing I don't like about that is I still have like all this rust and stuff that I have to deal with. You can see where it's rotted out in the back there. And this isn't the piece I was going to use. I got new stuff sitting over here and I got a couple more pieces on the other side of the Barracuda. But I was thinking about it and I took some measurements. A 2x6 piece will fit from here almost up to this edge here. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm actually going to end up cutting that whole piece out from here all the way up, and then probably around in here I'll cut it and I'll actually weld it to the back side of the 2x6 here. That way all this rust comes out, because once it starts rusting it doesn't stop. And I don't want to have to go through all this just to have to worry about going through and fixing it later. So I started going through, started drilling out the spot welds. I know before in the earlier videos I ended up doing my angle grinder, but I don't want this backside. I don't want that deep grind mark on it, because I'm actually going to go through and where all these spot welds are, I'm going to spot weld this to the backside of that 2x6. And the same thing along the bottom. So this whole piece here is going to be replaced with a 2x6. I think that's going to make it a lot stronger. There's not going to be as many voids in here for moisture to get in and start rotting and continue rotting this. I got the seam sealer back here all ground off so I can see the spot welds. I know there's a piece under here I'm going to have to replace. I will probably do that once I end up dropping the tanks, because I'm not going to cut and weld that close to the gas tanks. So I'm going to go through, get this camera set up, see about getting more of these spot welds cut out, and hopefully get this piece on and get the other 2x6 piece into place. And once I cut this piece out, it's probably going to lose a lot of its rigidity. And I've said it in the past before, I absolutely hate these jacks for changing tires, roadside, anything like that. But for garage work, I absolutely love them. You can put them under there, you can fine tune the height, you can do, I use these for a lot of things working on cars. So what I'll end up doing is I got this one and I got another one back here. is I will probably stick them right underneath this seat support and that seat support back there, just to kind of keep the car from sagging a little bit once I take this piece out. Alright, I got most of these spot welds out. I got this back piece, so it's pretty much loose. Some of the spot welds, they do put this glue or adhesive in between the spot welds, so even though the spot weld is drilled out, it's still stuck together, and they also have seam sealer along this bottom, so that's kind of holding it together also. So the way I've been trying to get these out is you can see from this outside where all the spot welds are. I've just been going through with a center punch, starting it, and then I drill it out with a step drill. And that's been doing a pretty good job. It's a lot easier to get it from this side, because on the inside a lot of these are close to the floor and this cross member and stuff. You're drilling at an angle and your drill bit wants to walk a little bit. The problem I'm having is up here where this rust is really bad. I'm starting to lose track of where all the spot welds are. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to end up cutting this off, taking this section out, and then going back to the angle grinder method that I did on the other ones. So this outside, I'm not worried about. Like this piece here is coming off, so I'm not worried about, like really digging into it. So if I have to grind a lot off to get the spot weld out, that's fine because it's coming off anyways. The inside piece is the one that I want just a nice round hole and I don't want to cut into. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to cut this off, get this back section off. I do have a jack supporting right here, which is underneath this front floor brace, which is also tied into this frame section here. So that should hold it up fairly well. Behind that, I'm not really worried about because there's not a whole lot of weight on it. You still got the transmission tunnel. It's not going to fold in half like a pocket knife. So let me get my cutoff wheel. We'll get this section out, and then we'll move on to the front piece. That should be good enough. I don't want to cut too deep where I cut into that channel in the back that I want to weld to. Now all I gotta do is I'm just gonna take a razor blade, go along the bottom, cut where they have that seam sealer at, and then I should be able to just take this piece here, this one in the back where I have all these spot welds cut out, and I should be able to just wiggle it out of place. Apparently my phone just shut off on me. So I don't know where it shut off at, but I missed a spot weld right next to another spot weld here, so I gotta drill that out. Another one of those reasons you don't want to just go yanking on it, because I'm sure I'm gonna miss more than one spot weld. There we go. Oh yeah, much better. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Make sure everything's all detached. We're good. This one's still attached a little bit. Looks like that one walked off center a little bit. Either that or that's another two spot welds right on top of each other. slowly work our way up. Make sure we didn't miss anything else. Make sure everything's drilled out. Make sure it's separating. I'm going to end up grinding that a little bit deeper, I think. These two here are hanging up on me. These are the ones that goes through the frame. That frame support that runs up front. So this is going to need cut a little bit more. And these I think are going to need drilled out a little bit more. Oh, there's always one. But we'll get it though. Just like that. Alright, so there's that. Back section's off. Let me show you this rust back here that I was talking about. Alright, there's that rust underneath I was telling you about that I'm going to have to address. But the gas tank's right on the other side of this, so I'm not going to cut and I'm not going to weld any of this until I get a chance to drop these tanks out. I think I want to relocate them to the back anyways, because I'm going to end up modifying this seat area to fit this charger. But all in all, not bad. I'm not worried about these holes being that big, because you can go through and you can actually fill those in. I'd actually prefer them to be on the bigger side so you get a lot of penetration. So this one and this one I had to drill out quite a bit bigger. I don't know if I was just off center on the spot drill, or maybe they were just bigger because it's this frame piece, but either way, I'm not worried about that because that'll fill in nicely with weld, get good penetration. But this lip here, you can see that it's not bent. I didn't distort it. Everything looks good and straight. So now I just have to cut this piece out, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this section here along this so I can kind of grind it and pull it off as I go. So I'm going to cut this all out, cut this out, and I'm actually going to leave a section here so I can attach it to the 2x6. So let me get that going. Alright, I got the rest of this rocker panel off of the old 2007 Charger. This is what I'm left with. I need to go through and drill some holes so I can spot weld from the other side. I'll do some holes in this piece here and then all the way back until I pick up where I left off, where I lost track of the spot welds. Then I'm going to get those drilled out real quick. Alright, all the holes for the spot weld are done, old rocker's taken off. Alright, this is what I'm left with. I left extra here because I kind of want this to overlap the 2x6 that I'm going to put here, and then I'll just weld along this edge on the inside. This here I left just so I can kind of have a radius that slopes down to that 2x6 whenever I put everything together. This piece here I'm actually going to kind of take out and angle back a little bit because it sticks out into the fender of the 68 Charger and you can see it. So I'm going to eliminate some of this. But you can see how that's pretty much a straight shot all the way back. did cut this longer than what I need it because I still need to make sure I have everything planned out right. So I just have it so it fits between the wheels. So the length isn't correct, but the height and the width isn't going to change. I'm hoping it works out the way I pictured it. Everything looks good on paper until you actually go to do it, and you're like, oh, that's why that's not going to work. But I'm hoping this isn't the case. I'm not going to be able to weld this in right away. I got some weldable primer I have to get, or some weld-through primer I have to get. And then I have some rust converter paint to spray along the inside before I actually go through and attach everything. Then on the inside I got some rust converter paint. And then I'll probably just use truck bed lining or something, just to prevent water from getting to the floorboards again. There we go. That's in place. Do a quick walk around. Look it up in here, make sure everything's gonna go the way it's supposed to. Oh, I kind of like the way that's working out. I think it's going to be a lot more rigid than doing it with the 2x4, leaving the old rocker in there. Get a look on the inside. You can see how everything's nice and tight all the way down, even though I don't have it welded. I mean, it's already sitting pretty flat. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good angle or not. Up in here, this is why I left that overlap, because I want to run a bead here and a weld this panel to this one, make this all one unit just for rigidity. But obviously I have to cut the front and the back down some, but this is just for mock-up purposes. Just so you can see the direction I was going. And this is about the same height as what it was before. That comes out pretty much flush. I'll actually probably just peen that over just so it's not sticking out like that. And then on the bottom, it might hang down a little bit lower, but that's alright, because if you look under here, I mean, there's a lot of things that hang lower than that rocker anyway, so bottoming out's not going to be an issue. But I like it. Well, I apologize it's taking so long to get to this point, but, you know, it's my personal car and it's not really a priority. Other things come up, but if you want to follow this build, like, subscribe. I do have memberships. They are active. You're not going to gain anything special out of them. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not going to withhold videos and do membership-only things. That's not what this is about. If you do want to help out the channel, by all means, you can subscribe to a membership. Again, you're not going to benefit from anything. Also, if you don't, you're not going to miss out on anything. I'm not going to hold anything back. Everything is going to be seen by everybody. But on that same note, if you subscribe, once I get to so many, then I'll get the paid advertisements and all that, and you can help me out that way, and it doesn't even come out of your own pocket. So just take a couple minutes, like, subscribe, notifications. I enjoy doing this just for doing this. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for a revenue stream. You guys out there, you're just like me. You got families. Times are tough. I don't want your money. Like, take that money and spend it on your family. Do it, spend it on important things, things that matter. Family matters. It'll get done eventually. I don't want your money to help me get it done. That being said, though, if you have more money than you know what to do with, I'm not going to turn it down. I don't know. But hey, like, subscribe, follow this build. Hopefully tomorrow we'll start being able to get this thing welded into place. I got that primer and stuff coming. Depending on what time it comes in, but either way, I'll find something to do tomorrow. Till next time.